What's up? We're here at Vinyl Brewing here in Hamilton, New Jersey, and we're going to talk a little bit tonight about our experience on the Bring It Home ride to break the world record.
Pizza, yeah. A little late, but I'm always on time. What's up, brother? Hello. Hi. What up, Johnny? It's crack a wagon.
Oh, thank you. You like that?
George, what's up, man? All right, so what's the word?
So that's the sour that he has now, the number 7. How are you?
Good. What are you drinking?
This is the Belgian blonde.
Belgium blonde.
So you know me, I got my light beer.
And you?
I am having the coffee stout.
And you have a fat tire that you got from across the street?
I would if I could. What do I have, Janie?
This is the Belgian blonde as well.
I also have
Johnny?
Cherry fudge milkshake IPA. Fuzz milkshake IPA.
So she said they were having
People we met. I mean, we ran into some people. You know, you guys know the story about the old lady. You know, freaking, what the hell are you doing here? I mean, that was. No, that's not what she said. But that was funny as hell. But that was the coolest part. Was, you know, the people we met. You know. Yeah, that was.
He's married.
That's definitely a memorable.
Yes,
Absolutely memorable. Absolutely.
because it came out of the blue.
She wasn't even, that's what made it so great is we're having a conversation, she's sitting at another table, you know, where'd you guys ride from? Well, we rode from New Jersey. Why the hell would you come here? It just out of the blue, too. You know, and she was,
What the fuck are you doing?
what the fuck are you doing here? I'm like, what the heck just happened?
Funny,
was
just
great.
she was hilarious. So
What was Austin's favorite part of that?
Oh wow, it's actually very hard to. It was all so good that it's hard to pinpoint any one part. You know, I gotta say for me, it was a lot of people. It's all the people that we met down there. It's, you know, ride-wise, I actually enjoyed, you know, going through the back of the Dragon. That was probably my highlight of the whole ride. Just because I've never done that before, and it was awesome. And I don't know, I have so many favorite parts, I can't pinpoint one. The whole trip, I mean, to take this trip with the four of us was probably the highlight. That was my highlight.
What was your favorite part, George?
my favorite part was day 2.
Day 2.
Day 2. No, not day 2. Day 3. You can keep the dragon shit. Like, I'm good. I don't need to do the dragon again. I'm fine. But day 3, because, jeez. But day 3, we left Jackson. We made incredible time, like across Arkansas, and then ran into the Ornery One. Rode in ridiculous rain. Met John Maxwell. And then finished the ride down to Paris. I mean, that day was completely unplanned, and it couldn't have been any better, I think.
No, you're right.
I mean,
Everything fell into place.
So, I mean, knew John was doing a ride across country. Had no intention. I mean, I didn't even look at like where he was going to see if we could even do that ride. And it worked out. And we rode in some serious rain.
That was some of the worst rain I've ever ridden.
Serious rain.
And you did an awesome job. I'll be honest with you, most of that ride when we rode in the rain, I actually did not see Bert 80% of the time. I did not know where he was. All I was focusing was on a white line to my left to make sure I didn't go off the road because I could not see anything. And my mistake, my mistake was I did not put my clear. I still have my sunglasses.
I didn't put my yellows on.
I have my sunglasses on, and they are horrible in the rain.
Yeah.
Yep. I almost lost my lens. I tried to wipe it off, but remember my lens are magnets, and it came out and scared the heck out of me.
And I was like,
Yeah, it's. I mean, I got away from the white line and backed off and got behind him as soon as I lost sight of you, because you couldn't see. I mean, it was so bad you couldn't see two bikes.
No, it was like 10 feet. That was
You probably couldn't see Bert.
all I could see was
You could see Austin.
Yep,
I couldn't see Austin. I could see John.
Yeah, I turned on my LEDs just to have more light, so to spot.
Yeah, it was.
I couldn't even see.
That was probably useless.
And your tail light was there, and the white line. I said, that's it. And when those cars would pass us, man, freaking.
But it wasn't like if we got caught in the rain here on 206 or 70. If we got caught in the rain on roads that we know,
Right.
we were in the hills of Arkansas in rain and fog, and you don't know the road, you don't know how windy some of those highways can get, and that was what made it interesting, I guess.
What was your favorite part of the ride out?
My favorite part was definitely day 3, the randomly meeting up with TJ, you know, the Ornery One, and that whole ride out with them was definitely my favorite part. I was giddy getting to meet him. I've been following him for years, you know.
You've been following him since the beginning.
Yeah, since I was following him since he rode with Adam, and then all of a sudden he took off. Been following him since then, so I'm a fan of his. That was way cool. Just how random it was, like John said, the way it just fell into place. And that ride in the rain, I didn't know if you guys were behind me. I'm like, I hope they're behind me, but I am not stopping because when do you get to do this? I'm like, I was going as fast as I could. I wanted to go faster, but I couldn't see a thing. So I had it twisted as fast as I could go and still stay alive. And there's several times where I'm like, I can't see. I hope this road is straight. But yeah, I mean, meeting up with them, riding with them, and then getting to meet up with John Maxwell, Texarkana. That was definitely the favorite part. From that point on, the rest of the trip, things just fell into place for us. And just very random, but it couldn't have worked out better.
Hey, if the things that happened the first day didn't happen, none of that would have happened because everything fell into place since day one.
And you know what's crazy is I had told Jane the night before, she goes, how you doing? I said, we're about 2 hours behind schedule. Because remember, as we were trying to plan it, I said 2 hours behind. That was the best 2 hours behind schedule that could have ever happened. Because had we been on schedule, none of that would have happened. Because the whole reason we had to stop short of making it to Memphis, which set us up to freaking meet up with the Ornery One.
That truck that you were pissed off at?
Yes. Oh my, yes, you're right. We left Texarkana, and he said, hey, if you guys want to ride with us, we're going to go get gas and we'll meet up. And we went to the wrong gas station, and we automatically thought, oh man, we missed our opportunity. And to jump on the freeway and him come blasted up and freaking come up next to you like he's going to kick you and laugh. And
It was Steph that kicked him.
yeah, oh, that was,
Actually, TJ actually went.
yeah. That was so awesome.
I looked in the rearview mirror. I thought it was you guys that had gotten over in the left lane. So I started to go over in the left lane, but it was actually him and his buddy coming up next to us. And I was like, oh crap. And I realized it was him, so I got back over so that he can go by. And that's when she came by and she pretended to kick me. And I was like, wait, that's them.
That 30 seconds of us stopping at that gas station and going,
Yeah, what
well,
do we do?
let's just go. That right there. That right. If we had gone, well, he would have definitely caught up because he was blazing down.
We didn't know, and I think our comms were broken up at that point. I had Bert, you guys had each other, and I said to Bert, I hope this guy rides. I hope he's not crawling.
What were we about? We were about a minute and a half into following TJ, and I was like, well, I guess we're not. I guess we're not using cruise control. Because he was like, he was going from left lane to right, not just over, he was going all the way. He was crossing 3 lanes at a time. I was like, oh, I hope you guys are ready.
I remember thinking the same thing. Man, I hope this guy runs as hard as we do. Holy smokes.
And we did learn a valuable move to get people
Oh,
to get out the way.
the wiggle.
The wiggle.
Is that what you guys are calling it now?
We're calling it the wiggle.
Yo, TJ, you're aggressive. This dude, if somebody was in the left lane and would not get out of the way, he was relentless. He would be on there, right on them, like on them. And he would go back and back and forth. And then if he had to go to the right to get around them, when he went around them, he would like slow up next to them and be giving them the business. He was like, I was like, oh, this guy is no joke. And this wiggle was funny. He'd be right behind him and he'd be like going back and forth real quick.
That's it, man.
I was like, oh my God.
That's why nobody moves.
But they were two of the most genuine people. Like what they are in their channel is what they are.
Oh, they were awesome.
Right?
They were awesome.
I mean,
you know, they were friendly. I mean, you know, shoot, we just met them, and they, you know, it was like family, man. They were that cool. I mean, it was, you know, and the fact that, you know, they had left the dealership, and so we were getting ready to leave the dealership, and we're like, okay, I guess we'll pack up and we'll head out. He came back in and said, hey, did I invite you guys to ride with us, man? You know, and we're like, oh, heck yeah, we'll ride with you, you know. So yeah, we were like a bunch of little kids.
Our favorite part of the week was the week that we got to spend without the guys.
We missed you, but no.
How legit do you suppose that is? Okay.
I was trying for some of that.
So the day of the ride itself, what is your critique of how the ride was put together? Because I know there's been chit chat, good and bad.
She can't help herself.
Firing minds want to know. I wasn't there. I'm asking you guys, what did you think of the ride itself that day?
The ride itself was awesome. The setup, not enough bathrooms. Just not enough bathrooms. When everybody, to include the women, started going out in the woods and in the tall grass, that's when you knew there wasn't enough. I mean, the line, not exaggerating, the line for the bathrooms, holy smokes, what would you guys say? 100 foot? I mean, of people, I mean, it was, you know, there was 100 people in line to use the bathroom.
Plus, on top of that, you couldn't tell what line was for the bathroom, what line was to buy water, what line was to go buy food. They all merged into one
Right,
because
they
put
were
it in
all in
this
a
little
small
hole.
area.
But all in all, that bathroom is probably my top.
Yeah, I mean, if all the gripes of the whole place, that was it. Only because you're continually trying to drink water and stay hydrated, so you're constantly,
I give them a free pass on the bathrooms because you probably had 6,000 people at an airport that had never seen 6,000 people
Oh, absolutely.
ever. And we were on a ride with, we know, at least 4,000 bikes because some bikes didn't count. And once your kickstand went up, your feet never went down. So, I mean, I've been on rides that have been much less than that. And they've been stop and go and crawl and everything, so.
They obviously learned from the previous years, at least talking to people who had done previous years. You know, the way they had it set up, closed off, first of all, so you didn't have to worry about, you know, non-Harley bikes getting involved, and just having the route that they had where once you, like you said, once we went, you went. You know, and so that was cool, that part of it. There was no stop and go. You just, you know, it was constant, you know. So.
Which most of us have experienced with other rides that we get to go on an airfield and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's an accordion effect, or if there's no accordion effect, it's a haul ass all the way to and then slam on your brakes because everybody's trying to do the same thing.
And this was not as bad as some of them. Yeah, it was. You didn't get that.
I'm actually surprised that not more people ripped on it.
Here you go. This is, you know what, now that I think of it. You want to know my biggest gripe? If I have to sum it all up, my biggest gripe is that the people who showed up the earliest were not the first ones to start the ride. So I would have to say that was my biggest gripe. So we got there early in the morning, so we ended up getting set up in one of the first couple rows. When it was time to start the ride, the people who had gotten there last and had only been there like an hour or so, those people went first. So we had been there all day long.
That's not exactly true. So the people who went, we got there first. We weren't the first to go. The people who were the first to go were the people who got there in the middle. The people who got there last wound up down the taxiway.
You're right.
And there were bikes 4 wide down the taxiway, and they were the people who went last.
Yes.
But you know what the reason for that
the reason for that is they
Yeah.
changed their setup 3 or 4 times, from what I understand, before we even got there.
Oh, yeah.
They moved people, they said, multiple times before we even got there.
Yep.
We were there early. We were what? 5 rows?
5 rows.
We were super early. Super early.
7:30.
And they said they had moved them to 2 or 3 different spots before we even showed up, trying to figure out how they were going to set it up. So they really didn't know how they were going to set it up. And then once all those people started showing up, and they put them on the opposite side, the people that went first, they put them on the opposite side, and then they realized they're in the way of the finish line. That's why they realized they needed to send them off first.
But still, once we were rolling, your feet never went down.
Absolutely.
So if I had,
In fact, there was
if
even
I had
some
to wait-
sections you could kind of get on it.
if I had to wait another hour and a half not to walk my bike around an airstrip, I'm good.
Unless you were the guy next to Bert.
I mean, we got to meet a lot of people.
What did you
in
do to
whole
that guy
time.
next to you?
Next to me?
The guy next to you in the ride.
Every time you were...
I mean, the guy was like a grandpa. He did not want to like get on the throttle at all.
But he wasn't a grandpa.
And he was like 23 years old. And I would get on it and he'd be like, he would look around like, oh, what's going on? And I'm like, what's wrong with this dude? And he did like 3 or 4 times. Every time we came around a bend, it would be real slow, everybody would slow down, and then it would open up and the people ahead of us would take off. And so I would go to take off and he wasn't taking off. So I'd be like passing him and he was not enjoying that at all. I don't know. You can see that guy on our Bring It Home ride film. If you know him, you need to talk to him.
I think in the big thing, they had people didn't pre-register.
Shoot,
day
if you
or two before,
remember the line was faster in the non-pre-register line.
right? And people didn't pre-register.
Oh, there was another gripe.
The two or 3 days
post.
before.
Freaking
Yeah.
what letter your last name?
We figured that out though. But they had, I mean, what did they double or triple within like 48 hours of the ride for pre-registration? So I mean,
I mean, when you really think about
that's the public's fault.
That gives you, to me, that gives them some leeway. Like those numbers doubled or tripled the last 48 hours. Put them in a bind. That's why we're short on bathrooms.
And porta potties are expensive.
They are expensive.
Nobody's paying for that
And that's what people don't think about. Like, oh, why is there not 20 more? Well,
If they charge everybody
that
10 more
whole
bucks to have more
event did
porta
not
potties.
raise money for anybody that was putting out money. All the money that was raised for that went towards the charities. So Paris Harley Davidson, Law Tigers, and Adam Sandoval, the money they put out, they weren't getting a return on that investment.
What's up, everybody? That's our thoughts on the Bring It Home ride. I mean, we had a really good time. It's a once in a lifetime experience, and if we need to do it again, we can do it again. But I don't think Skid Pig is going to get it done down in Australia. I got to tell you. So, but if he does, you know what? I got no qualms. I'll ride out to Texas again, and I'm sure we'll mobilize and we'll get the bikes out there to crush whatever they think they can build. So, what are your thoughts?
Absolutely. Be
Do
there
it
in a
again?
heartbeat. Absolutely. 100%.
I hope Skid Pig does do it so that we have a reason to get together again.
I like
go.
that. I like that.
Let's go. Bring it.
So that's on you, Skid Pig. All right.
Koala bears don't count.
Ooh.